Supernatural Season 10, Episode 22, The Prisoner. Now, I just finished this episode, like less than 30 seconds ago. So the ending, I'm still kind of getting over that because they had me freaking out. Like everything that Kane said was like, it would be Crowley, then Cass, and Sam. And the way they ended this episode, I was so freaked out. I actually had to just pause it because I was like, I haven't been this affected by the show in a very, very long time. And I was like, they can't do this. Like, they're freaking me out. They can't, especially after they just killed someone off. They really can't do that with Cass. And it was real touching. I was like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I was really scared. I'm like, I knew he didn't have a blade, and I wasn't thinking about the fact that Cass always has one on him. So I'm like, okay, he can't really do anything. And even before that, before he took the angel blade out of Cass's sleeve, it was still an incredibly powerful scene with Dean just beating up Cass. It was like, I know he can't kill him. At least I was thinking that because I forgot. And it was just like, it's still had the exact same effect, even without the crazy ending. And that was an amazing way to end the episode. But even without the possibility of death at the very end of it, it was still really powerful. Like, it just showed how far gone Dean really is, and he thinks that he's not, far gone. Like, oh, if I'm a demon, then there's going to be an issue. But it's far more than that. Like, just like with Cain, he didn't have to have demon eyes or anything like that to be taken over by the mark or to use its power to just obliterate people. He just did, and that's what's happening with Dean, and it was definitely well done. And also, I want to point this out for the preview. He's back in his red shirt, so he's basically there. He just doesn't have the red eyes. So that was something I love that they did. That's like his thing when he's like basically Demon Dean. He's in the red shirt, and for the preview of the next episode, which is the season finale, and it looks really epic. We have Death back, and I swear every time I see that guy come back, I'm like, that's really exciting. And then I think that guy's, I don't know how long he's gonna be living because I don't think he's that old. But every time I see him, I'm just like, that guy's the oldest actor they have. I'm pretty sure he's older than Bobby. I wish I could think of that guy's actual name, but I'm pretty sure he's older than him. And it's just like every time I see him, I'm like, he might actually be meeting himself pretty soon. That's really morbid to think, but I honestly think that all the time. Like, it's always like years apart, and I'm just like, they're really pushing it with him. But great that he's gonna be back. But this was just a crazy episode. I mean, like, I knew Dean, like, the whole point of the episode, even with the preview, is like, oh, Dean's gonna be really angry. I didn't think it was gonna actually be like Demon Dean angry, where he was just killing people. He was like just a murderer. He was just like a stealth ninja going through everything. Like, when he got to the house, he killed like two people super fast. He stabbed the first guy in the neck, was like boom, and he just threw him to the side. Like, he didn't miss a step. Like, he took a step with his right hand, stabbed the guy, and his left foot was on the ground while he was letting the guy go. It's just like boom, that guy's done. He grabs the second guy, shoots another guy, then shoots the second guy through the back, and then he gets caught. And it's like, oh, this is gonna really change. It was like they knew he was coming. Tons of people, over a dozen people with machine guns on them. It's like, oh, well, he's, this is going to change. And I was really sure that they would actually make him into Demon Dean because they would cut him open and kill him, and he would come back with his demon powers. And I figured they're really excited, like, oh, he can't die as a lab rat. And I thought they're going to kill him this first time, and he will come back with, way more power than he actually has. But he didn't even need that. He was already there. Like, he's there even without the eyes. And I think it seems like, based on the preview in the next episode, he's going to notice it a lot more than he did in this one, which he obviously didn't at all by the end. I guess he did at the very last minute, and that's why we still have Cass. But other than that, it's like he's stabbing people, shooting people. Huge twist to the whole Styne family thing. They just got wiped out. At least a faction of them did. I'm sure they'll be coming back because you can't just drop an entire house of Stynes and then the rest of the family's like, let that go. So they're going to be in the next season for sure. It just won't be any of the people we've met, which was probably the craziest thing about it. I figured, even when they first introduced them, I thought that first guy was going to come back. I figured he's going to survive. He got killed off. The guy from the last episode, he gets killed off in this episode. He's shot in the head. The father's neck just gets like snapped in the craziest way I've ever seen anyone get killed. And it's just like, he snapped his neck backwards. I've never seen that. So it was like he snaps his neck. He slit the other guy's throat. He kills the nurse. And then apparently he just wiped out the entire house. It was just insane. And then we get to the end. And I really thought what they were going to do with the son, like the youngest son, who I couldn't help. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, that's Craig from Everybody Hates Chris. So I couldn't help that. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, okay, he's a part of the Styne family. How they're going to do it is he's going to survive this, and he'll be there somewhere down the line. Dean might be right, towards the end of the season, or end of this episode, I mean, where he's talking about how there's evil within him, and I thought he would change. I thought he was going to survive, and then when Dean mentioned, like, he killed their father and stuff, that would change him down the course of being an evil character in the next season. And instead of all that happening, Dean kills the older brother. I guess they're brothers or cousins. They're family. They're Stynes. So he kills him, and it's like, I thought he was, it's obviously, I think everyone thought that. I mean, he takes the gun away, and it just stays on him. And I thought he was going to say exactly what the other Styne said, where it was like, he doesn't have to do it, but he gets to do it. But he did stick with, I do have to do this. And, he just kills a kid. He kills someone who's, character-wise, I'm sure he was just a teenager, but I know the guy was actually, like, in his 20s. But he kills, like, this teenage kid, and that's it. Like, he shoots him, like, right in the head, too. It wasn't like he did anything different. It's just, like, he shot two people in the head, and one of them was an innocent child who seriously just wanted to get away from his family. Even mentioned, in the very beginning, the whole point of him was like, hey, I want to get the heck out of here. He planned on running away from his family. So it was just crazy. Like, it was just insane, Dean. And that wasn't even the craziest part of this freaking episode. Like, this, if it didn't end the way that it did, like, it obviously has to have a resolution to the whole Marky Kane stuff. But there was some stuff in this episode that easily could have counted this as the season finale. Like, if it ended with Dean being like this murderer and he just takes off and he's gone again, just like at the start of the season, that could have worked. And then, of course, we have Crowley, who went from, like, being the character where it's like, oh, everyone thinks, like, yeah, it's gotten pretty soft. He went full-on devil in this, and that was the coolest thing ever. Like, it was insane seeing that happen. And it was awesome. It was just an epic moment for his character. He's back to old Crowley. We got to see the ultimate form of demon eyes. Like, we've had black eyes, we've had yellow eyes. Now we have, like, actual devil eyes. Like, his eyes were just full-on red. He's like, all right, you kind of pissed me off. I'm just going to take this bullet out of me, flick that off, burn the hex bag. And it was just amazing. Like, he, sends Sam through the window, and he's like, I could just snap my fingers and kill you. And it was just cool. It's always one of the best villain moments when it's like, when it makes sense at least, it's always great. Because there are always those TV shows where it's like, oh, well, he could have just killed him right there, but the villains leave. In this, it's just how Crowley is. He's that mental character, and it's like, I could just snap my fingers and you would be dead. But instead, I'm going to leave you alive because I want you to remember that the only reason your life is a life at this point is because I allowed it, because I let you live. And now you tell her, the ginger whore, as he put it, which is a great nickname, he's going to be going after her and she won't see it coming. So I don't know how the heck that's going to play out. Rowena's going to be screwed. I don't think she'll be killed off. I'm sure she'll still be a regular come next season. But crazy Crowley, I mean, him even doing that instantly brings him back as possibly the main villain for the next season, because he just has it. Like, he talked about how for all the time he'd been running hell, he'd been doing that because he wanted to feel something. He wanted to kind of go back and feel that human emotion and attachment that he had in the previous seasons because of the blood. And I thought that's where it was going. It's like I was trying to, be a good guy. I've been trying to change and become, more human. And then all that ends with, you know what though? All the crappy stuff, all the evil, all the bad, that's just me. And I can't wait to see them mess around with that in the season finale, as well as all of next season. We need more of the actual Devil Eyes, because that was just amazing. So I love that. I love just crazy, insane Dean. The beginning of the episode was super freaking sad, and almost it was like I felt like I was gonna end up crying if that went on too much longer. And they're like playing the music and showing the flashbacks for Charlie, but it was definitely well done. And I love like Dean in the episode, like from the very beginning, was far too far gone. Like you could tell from the very beginning, because like after Sam's trying to apologize, and he tells him shut up, which that made sense. It was like he's just so angry at this point, and Charlie's dead. The first thing he said that in this episode that really showed that it was like it was basically Demon Dean, even though he didn't have the black eyes, was the fact that he said he wishes that it was Sam burning rather than Charlie. And I understand that he's mad, but he wouldn't say that. Like, that's just not something, I don't think anyone would. It's like, you would just say you wish it didn't happen. I wish you told me that this was happening and we could have stopped this. Or I wish you left it alone like I said. But out of all those options, he said, I wish you were there instead of her. Like, basically, I wish my brother was burning because he died instead of the woman who died because she was run in by my brother. So that was the very first thing. And then they were split up the entire episode. But it was just well done. Like, the entire episode was an incredible one. I have no idea what to expect for the Styne family now, because I thought, oh, well, I think like everyone thought, great villains, next season, which it still could be. And if it is, then, it'll all be characters we have not seen before at all, because all of them got killed off. There wasn't a single person that made it out. The dad was killed. Both the cousins slash brothers, whatever they were both killed. The youngest son, he was killed off too. So everyone was dead. Another huge thing, of course, them being in the bunker. I thought that would be much more devastating, but fortunately, or unfortunately, I guess, depending on how you look at it, that's kind of taken care of. So the only people that actually knew about it were killed off. So the bunker is safe once again, unless there's some crazy tracking spell on all the Stynes. But I love this finale, or episode leading up to the finale, and I don't know what to expect fully from the next episode, but I'm incredibly excited. I know we're getting Death back. We have Dean at least trying to figure out how to get the mark off himself, and we see that his only option with Death is that if he takes the mark, then seemingly, when Death brings you a scythe, I have to assume that means Death wants him to take over as the Grim Reaper. So that would be interesting. And I know the episode is called Brother's Keeper, so I just don't know. I'm incredibly excited for it. It seemed like they got the spell working with like the little scene where basically it blows up and everyone falls down. So I'm not sure what to expect. We're gonna have all the big players. We may or may not get the sort of next step of the Styne family kind of leading into the next season, maybe. At least a nod to it or something like that. But I'm incredibly excited for this season. The season finale has been a crazy season leading up to this. We've had like, early on it was like there's just a lot of fillers and stuff and this and that. But every main focused episode has definitely been great. And of course, these last couple have been really intense too. I mean, obviously the last one, and then this one, and then we have the season finale. So it's like a trio. Like the last 3 episodes were just really huge episodes, and normally it's like everything ramps up. But when you end the last one with the death, it counts it as the last 3. It makes it a trio rather than just it's the last 2 were unbelievable. It makes it a trio for this season, and this was just an amazing episode leading up to the finale. And I don't think, and it's hard for me to remember because it's 10 seasons, but I don't know if there's been an episode that's just been so devastating as far as the episode before the finale. Like something like this, like especially the actual ending with Dean and Cass. I don't think there's been an episode like that where it's like this is the penultimate episode for the season leading into the finale that's had me so on edge. Like they all have me excited, of course, like this cool thing happened, but this one was just like, you know, it was almost devastating in a sense. So I'm incredibly excited for it. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, I just have to ask, what are your thoughts on both Dean? I can't really call him Demon Dean, but he's basically there. Like, he's done everything he would have done as a demon. He just doesn't have the black eyes yet because, you know, no one killed him in this episode. That's really it. So, you know, your thoughts on Dean, as well as your thoughts on full-on Devil Crowley, which has just it that has me excited. Like the stuff with Dean, it's like really cool, but at the same time it's sad because Dean's, you know, the good guy. But with Crowley, it's just super epic. It's like that's just freaking sweet. Like he has like full on red demon eyes. He, you know, goes like to his ultimate power mode, and he can just take out the demon trap bullets and burn hex bags in his hand, made by his own mother, who's hundreds of years old. So just super freaking epic. I love the episode. Before I end this video, I did want to do a shout out because you know, we have the season finale coming up. I want to do a shout out to another channel called Small Talks. They do really great supernatural reviews, as well as two girls, Thea and Holly. Sorry if I got your names wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Definitely check them out. I'll put a link to their channel below. But they do great supernatural reviews. They tend to do them a week after the episode. Like, so for this week, they would be doing last week's episode as sort of a recap before the brand new one. So definitely check them out. They do great reviews. Like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys want to see in this finale. What do you guys think you know, may or may not happen, and just, you know, all the craziness that we got out of this. Because the thing with Crowley, with that happening in an episode like right before the finale, it really does make me wonder: is he gonna go after his mother in the next episode? Like, is that gonna be half the issue they have to deal with? Like, we have to now protect Rowena because Crowley is like full on devil mode, and he could, you know, wipe everybody out like it's nothing. So I don't know if that's gonna be a big deal that they have to deal with. Is like, we can't even get to helping Dean because now we have to help Rowena because she's the only one who can do the spell, so we can help Dean. So yeah, I want to know what you guys think about it, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.